Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're getting up close with one of Australia's most famous animals, the dingo. You know, it's an animal that looks so familiar, kind of like a pet dog. But as we're about to find out, it is absolutely packed with incredible surprises that make it one of a kind. And yeah, that brings us to the biggest question of them all. It's got the 4 legs, the tail, the pointy ears. It looks like it would fit right in at the local dog park. But is a dingo really a dog? Well, the answer is way more interesting than you might think. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. All right, let's kick things off. To really get the dingo, we first have to understand its special place in its homeland. See, this isn't just some random animal roaming the outback. It's a huge part of Australia's story and its wild landscape. You know, for many of Australia's first peoples, the dingo is so much more than a wild animal. Take the Nunganal people, for instance. To them, the Miragang is a really important symbol of strength and protection. For ages, they were companions, guardians, basically a living, breathing part of the family. Okay, now for the really cool stuff. Let's look at what makes the dingo so perfectly designed for life in the wild. Seriously, its body is like a masterclass in survival for the tough Australian bush. Just check out this incredible flexibility. Unlike your average dog, a dingo can actually rotate its wrists. This helps them open things, grab onto prey, and get this, it even helps them climb trees. Plus, they can turn their necks almost 180 degrees around. All that agility makes them amazing hunters and, yeah, total escape artists. And here's another game-changing detail in their design. A dingo's skull is the absolute widest part of its body. Now, why does that matter? Well, it means that if its head can squeeze through a gap, it knows for sure that the rest of its body can follow. Domestic dogs with their broader shoulders just can't pull off that same trick. And of course, we've got to talk about the teeth. A dingo's canine teeth are way longer and sharper than a domestic dog's of the same size. And that's not just for looks. These are the serious tools of a top predator, perfectly built for gripping and tearing, which is absolutely essential for their wild diet. And when it comes to speed, wow, the dingo is a serious athlete. They've been clocked running up to 60 kilometers per hour. That's about 37 miles per hour, by the way. An incredible burst of speed like that is exactly what you need to chase down fast animals across the huge open spaces of Australia. So, with all that speed and those amazing physical tools, what's a dingo actually hunting? Let's take a peek at the menu for this super adaptable predator. Well, the short answer is pretty much anything you can find. The dingo's menu is incredibly varied. The main course is often kangaroos and wallabies, but honestly, they'll happily chow down on anything from rabbits and lizards to bugs and even fish. Being this adaptable is the secret to their success. This map really gives you a great visual of just how adaptable they are. A dingo living out in the dry, red desert is going to have a totally different diet than one up in the wet, tropical north. So, out in the desert, they might eat more reptiles, while in other areas, they might focus on wallabies. They are true masters of their local environment. Now, it's not just their bodies that are different. Dingoes also have a really unique family and social life that sets them apart from domestic dogs. So let's dive into how their packs work. Okay, first things first, let's get the names right. A group of dingoes is called a pack. Simple enough. And their little ones are called either pups or cubs. These packs are the absolute heart of dingo society. And this right here is a huge biological difference. While domestic dogs can have puppies a few times a year, dingoes stick to a very strict schedule. They only have pups once a year. That is a classic wild animal trait, timing the births so that the babies arrive when food is easiest to find. And raising those pups is a total team effort. So usually, only the lead alpha pair in the pack will have a litter. After those 4 to 6 pups are born, the whole pack pitches in. Other adults will help feed them, guard them, and teach them. It's this amazing group effort to make sure the next generation survives. And for our last section, let's talk about how dingoes communicate. Because if you're expecting a simple woof woof, you are in for another big surprise. Okay, so the biggest myth we need to bust is that dingoes bark. They really don't, not in the way a dog does. I mean, they can make a sharp sort of woof sound as a warning, but their vocabulary is so much richer. This quote says it all. They have this whole symphony of sounds, from howls and yelps all the way to purrs. So let's break that down. Those famous howls, that's for long-distance calls, finding each other across huge areas. The sharp woofs
are alarms, and all the other sounds, the yelps, growls, and even those gentle chortles and purrs, that's all part of their complex social language for getting along in the pack. It's way more sophisticated than just barking.
So, to wrap it all up, what are the big takeaways? Here are 3 key things that make a dingo so special. First, they are built differently, with that amazing flexibility made for the wild. Second, their family life runs on a wild clock, breeding just once a year with the whole pack helping out. And third, they speak a totally different language, using howls and calls, not barks.
The dingo really is the perfect example of an animal that looks familiar, but is just so wonderfully different once you look closer. They're such intelligent, agile survivors. It just makes you wonder, right? What other incredible secrets and amazing stories are hiding out there in the natural world?